Scattered across the vast, sun-scorched landscapes of the American West lie the skeletal remains of a fever dream. They are the ghost towns, silent monuments to an era of explosive ambition and catastrophic failure. To walk their dusty, deserted streets is to step into a story of greed, violence, and survival that continues to echo long after the voices have faded. A young girl about to move to one of the most infamous of these towns was said to have written in her diary, "Goodbye, God, I'm going to Bodie." That single phrase captures the dread and the dark allure of these places. They are more than just ruins. They are time capsules, haunted not just by spirits, but by unanswered questions and the indelible imprint of human tragedy left upon the landscape. Today, we're unlocking the gates and stepping inside to uncover the eerie secrets these Wild West ghost towns still hold. If you enjoy exploring the hidden corners of history and the mysteries of the Old West, take a moment to subscribe to our channel and ring that notification bell. You won't want to miss what's coming. Before we get into today's video, I have something special for you. Do you ever watch an old Western and wonder, did that really happen? Well, we've put together a free guide called the Ultimate Wild West Fact Checkers Guide, and it debunks 25 of the biggest myths lying Hollywood shows in their movies. You get it emailed to you instantly when you sign up for our free weekly newsletter. Just head on over to nativejournals.com/subscribe to grab yours and find out the truth about everything from high noon duels to what cowboys really wore. Link is in the description. Number 1. Bodie, California, the curse of a vanished town. Of all the ghost towns in the American West, none holds a more chilling place in the imagination than Bodie, California. Perched at over 8,000 feet in the Sierra Nevada mountains, Bodie isn't just a ruin. It's a town frozen at the very moment of its death. In 1962, it became a state historic park, preserved in a state of arrested decay. This means nothing is restored. Instead, the buildings are simply maintained as they were found, creating the powerful and unsettling feeling that the residents didn't leave, but simply vanished. Peering through a dusty window, you'll see cans still on the general store shelves and homes with plates still set for dinner. The town's story began with a death. A prospector named William Bodie discovered gold here in 1859, only to perish in a blizzard before he could profit from it. The camp was named in his honor, though a painter's misspelling gave us the name Bodie. For years it was a miner camp, but in 1876, a mine cave-in revealed a staggeringly rich vein of gold. The rush was on. The town exploded to nearly 10,000 people, a sea of sin with as many as 65 saloons along its mile-long main street. Violence was a daily occurrence. The morning greeting was often, "Have we a man for breakfast?" swing a grim way of asking if anyone had been killed during the night. This lawlessness gave rise to vigilante groups like the 601, a code that stood for 6 feet under, 0 trials, 1 rope. But the boom was brief. By the early 1880s, the gold was running out, and a series of devastating fires helped empty the town for good. The last mine closed in 1942, leaving Bodie to the ghosts. Perhaps the most potent secret the town holds is the infamous Bodie Curse. The legend is simple. Anyone who takes anything from Bodie, even a rusty nail or a worthless rock, will be cursed with terrible luck until the stolen item is returned. While some say it's a tale invented by park rangers to stop theft, the museum at Bodie displays a chilling collection of letters from people who tested the curse. One letter from 1992, returned with a single nail, reads, "Life since then has been a steady downward slide. It's possible that all the unpleasant events of the past 9 months are a coincidence, but just in case the Bodie curse is real, I am returning the nail." Another from 2004 pleads, "You can have these godforsaken rocks back. I've never had so much rotten luck in my life. Please forgive me." It said the spirits of Bodie's original residents fiercely guard the belongings they left behind. Beyond the curse, specific spirits are said to linger. In the town cemetery, a marble angel marks the grave of a 3-year-old girl named Evelyn Myers. Her ghost, known as the Angel of Bodie, is said to be a playful spirit, with her giggles sometimes heard on the wind near her tombstone. The J.S. Kane House, home of a prominent banker, is said to be haunted by the ghost of a Chinese maid. Her spirit reportedly loves children but despises adults, with visitors reporting a terrifying feeling of a heavy presence sitting on their chest as they sleep. Number 2, Banic, Montana, the sheriff and the noose. In a remote valley in southwestern Montana lies Bannack, the site of the state's first major gold discovery and its first territorial capital. But Bannack's legacy is a dark tale of vigilante justice and a haunting mystery surrounding its most famous resident, Sheriff Henry Plummer. The gold rush of 1862 turned Bannack into a chaotic boomtown of over 3,000 people. The stagecoach routes were plagued by a ruthless gang of road agents who, by 1863, were blamed for the robbery and murder of over 100 men. Into this chaos rode Henry Plummer, a man described as charming and capable. He was quickly elected sheriff, but a dark rumor began to spread that Sheriff Plummer himself was the secret leader of the road agent gang. In response, a group of prominent citizens formed the Montana Vigilantes. Acting as judge, jury, and executioner, they launched a brutal campaign, hanging at least 24 men in just 6 weeks. On the cold morning of January 10, 1864, they came for the sheriff. Henry Plummer and 2 of his deputies were arrested and hanged from a gallows they had built themselves. For over a century, Plummer's guilt was accepted as fact. But the question of whether he was a criminal mastermind or the victim of a lynching is Bannack's true eerie secret. The case for his guilt rests on the confession of a captured gang member who allegedly named Plummer as the leader just before his own execution. And after the vigilantes' purge, crime in the territory dropped dramatically. However, a closer look raises serious doubts. The main accounts of the events were written by the vigilantes themselves, making them incredibly biased. There's little hard evidence that the road agents were a highly organized gang, let alone one led by Plummer. Some historians suggest the hangings were really a power grab, a way for one political faction to eliminate a popular sheriff from another. This historical doubt is so strong that a posthumous trial held for Plummer in 1993 ended in a hung jury. This unresolved crime is the psychic wound from which Bannack's ghost stories bleed. The town is haunted by the possibility of a terrible injustice. The spirit of Henry Plummer himself is said to walk the streets he once governed, often seen near the site of the gallows. Is he a guilty shade tied to the scene of his crimes, or an aggrieved spirit seeking the justice he was denied? The epicenter of the town's paranormal activity is the Hotel Mead. The most frequently seen spirit here is that of a teenage girl named Dorothy Dunn, who drowned nearby in 1916. Her apparition, wearing a blue dress, is often seen by children, and she is frequently spotted peering from a second-story window. Number 3, St. Elmo, Colorado, the last watch of Dirty Annie. High in the Colorado mountains sits St. Elmo, one of the most stunningly preserved ghost towns in the West. Its decline was not a violent end, but a long, slow fade that left its stories remarkably intact. Its primary secret is not a curse, but a deeply personal tragedy, the story of its last resident, whose love for her town was so strong that her spirit is said to continue its protective watch to this day. St. Elmo was once a bustling hub for the region's gold and silver mines, home to nearly 2,000 people at its peak. Its downfall was gradual: a fire in 1890, a financial panic in 1893, and finally, the closure of the railroad in 1922. Legend says many of the last residents simply rode the final train out of town and never came back. The town's incredible preservation is largely thanks to one family, the Starks. As others left, Anton and Anna Stark stayed, running the general store and hotel. Their children grew up as the town around them slowly died, until eventually only brother and sister Tony and Annabelle remained, the last inhabitants of a ghost town. The soul of St. Elmo's legend is Annabelle Stark. After a failed marriage, she returned to her decaying hometown. With her brother Tony, she became one of the last 2 year-round residents. Cut off from the world, her grip on reality seemingly slipped. She neglected her own care, earning the cruel nickname Dirty Annie, and became fiercely protective of the town. Locals remembered her patrolling the empty streets with a shotgun, a lonely sentinel guarding a town of memories. After her brother passed, she was eventually moved to a nursing home where she died in 1960. But Annabelle's spirit is said to have never left St. Elmo. Her ghost is the town's eternal guardian. Visitors frequently report seeing a woman in a white gown staring out from the second-story window of the old hotel, watching over the town. Doors slam shut, and sudden cold spots appear, particularly when people are behaving disrespectfully. One of the most compelling stories comes from a skier in the 1970s who saw Annabelle's figure in the hotel window. The figure seemed to be glaring down the street. The skier looked and saw a group of snowmobilers approaching, which was illegal in the historic town. The skier warned them off, and when she looked back, the figure in the window nodded in approval before vanishing. Annabelle Stark's spirit is not just a ghost in a town. She is the ghost of the town. Number 4. A tour of other tormented towns. While Bodie, Bannack, and St. Elmo have deep, complex stories, they are far from the only haunted landscapes in the West. In Arizona, Jerome was once a copper mining metropolis dubbed the wickedest city in the West. Its most haunted location is the building that once housed the United Verde Hospital. During its years of operation, it is estimated that some 9,000 people died within its walls from mining accidents and rampant illness. Today, it has been converted into the Jerome Grand Hotel, but its past has not been quieted. Guests and staff report phantom footsteps in empty hallways and disembodied voices whispering in the dead of night, as if the thousands of souls who perished there are trapped in a perpetual state of unrest. On the desolate edge of Death Valley, the ruins of Rhyolite, Nevada, stand as a testament to how quickly fortunes can turn. A gold rush town founded in 1904, it was dead by 1916, its life lasting a mere 12 years. Rhyolite's eerie secret is a classic tale of tragic love. The town's most famous ghost is said to be Mona Bell, who arrived with her gambler lover. After a furious argument over money, he allegedly shot and killed her. Her spirit is said to remain tied to the side of her violent end, with investigators claiming to have recorded a ghostly female voice whispering, "This is the end of us." And then there is Tombstone, Arizona, the town too tough to die. It's not a true ghost town, but a living community that has turned its violent past into its main attraction. The site of the infamous gunfight at the OK Corral is considered a paranormal hotspot, where visitors report seeing the apparitions of cowboys and lawmen, as if the 30-second conflict is forever replaying itself. But even more haunted is the Birdcage Theater. Operating 24/7 as a saloon, theater, and gambling hall, it was the scene of 26 documented murders, and its walls are still riddled with over 140 bullet holes. Staff report smelling phantom cigar smoke and whiskey, hearing a ghostly piano, and being startled by raucous laughter from the empty theater boxes. The eerie secrets of these towns are more than just ghost stories. They are cautionary tales about greed, ambition, and the consequences of violence. The most powerful hauntings are almost always tied to a profound failure of human justice. The lynching of a sheriff, the murder of a lover, the accidental killing of a child. These are events where a wrong was committed that the law failed to rectify. The ghosts, in this sense, are a lingering cry for a justice that was denied in life, eternal witnesses ensuring that the town's darkest secrets are never truly forgotten. Of all these towns, which story stays with you the most? And do you believe these spirits are still watching over their long-abandoned homes? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.